In a world where fame and fortune often go hand in hand, and with lavish displays of wealth, imagine a world where the measure of a person's worth is not determined by the size of their mansion or the number of zeros in their bank account, but by the strength of their character, forcing these celebrities to trade luxury for a refreshingly ordinary life. Welcome to a brand new video. Get ready to laugh as we explore the outlandish choices of Hollywood's most relatable stars who live like they're poor. If you like this type of content, subscribe to our channel. It's free. Now let's get started. Number 05. Keanu Reeves. We have all dreamed of how we would live if we ever become rich beyond our imagination. But here is Keanu Reeves, who has all the riches and still lives a normal life. Keanu Reeves, the Canadian actor known for his roles in iconic films such as The Matrix and John Wick, has an estimated net worth of $380 million as of 2024. His wealth comes primarily from a successful acting career that began in the 1980s, with notable films such as Bill and Ted's, Excellent Adventure Speed, and Point Break. However, it was the Matrix trilogy that catapulted him into superstardom, with earnings from the franchise exceeding $200 million across its installments. But if you think it's all been rosy, you're wrong. Reeves experienced a tumultuous upbringing after his father left when he was just 3 years old. Raised primarily by his mother, who had to move frequently for work, he faced instability that contributed to his steadfast nature. He has endured deep personal losses, including the death of his close friend River Phoenix from a drug overdose, and the tragic loss of his partner Jennifer Syme, who died in a car accident after suffering a miscarriage. These experiences shaped his worldview with a sense of empathy and humility. He has often expressed that such tragedies have made him value life and the people around him more deeply, steering him away from a flashy lifestyle. Despite his immense fortune and tragic moments, Reeves is famous for his modest lifestyle, in which he resides in a relatively simple apartment in Los Angeles rather than a sprawling mansion, which is in stark contrast to many of his Hollywood peers. This choice reflects his down-to-earth nature. He often prefers the comfort of a cozy home to the ostentation of a life of luxury. Rumors suggest that he even shares his living space with some houseplants, perhaps having heart-to-heart conversations about the meaning of life. When it comes to cars, Reeves is not one to flaunt his wealth. He drives a Honda Accord, a reliable and practical vehicle that suits his needs and humble persona. While other celebrities can be seen in flashy Lamborghinis and Ferraris, Reeves opts for a car that doesn't draw too much attention. It's almost as if he's saying, "I'm rich, but I'm not here to make you feel poor." His love of motorcycles is reflected in his ownership of Arch Motorcycle, a company he co-founded that specializes in custom bikes. This passion for motorcycles shows his adventurous spirit while still keeping things down to earth, and despite his celebrity status, Keanu Reeves chooses to do things differently. He isn't afraid to watch a movie alone and chat with random fans. With his surprisingly humble demeanor, he has made legendary driver Ronnie Sunshine a great friend. He retold this particular story of his modesty in New York publication's Page 6, and according to the host, Reeves waited quietly outside in the rain before his own rap party for his film, God's Daughter, in 2014. The host recalled that Keanu was waiting very patiently. The host said, "I don't think he said anything to the bouncer as if he was Keanu. No one recognized him. Keanu seemed very normal. It was raining, but he just waited for his two friends to come. He didn't act like he had money." The club owner later confessed that he had no idea that the actor was waiting outside, given his quiet demeanor that Reeves' modest lifestyle allows him to focus on what really matters. He has donated millions to children's hospitals and cancer research, often without seeking recognition. His generosity is legendary. For example, he once donated a substantial portion of his earnings from The Matrix to the film's crew, ensuring that they were fairly compensated for their hard work. When asked about his wealth, Reeves has been quoted as saying that "money is the last thing on my mind." This attitude is refreshing in an industry often consumed by materialism. He believes that the joy of acting and the opportunity to work with great artists far outweighs the financial rewards. Number 04. Jennifer Lawrence. Imagine a Hollywood superstar who, despite her Oscar-winning fame, chooses comfort over high fashion and remains refreshingly genuine in a world of polished people. Jennifer Lawrence, often referred to as America's sweetheart, is known not only for her incredible acting talent, but also for her refreshingly down-to-earth personality. Jennifer Lawrence rose to fame with roles in The Hunger Games and Silver Linings, where she not only made millions, but also nabbed an Oscar at just 22 years old, making her one of the highest-paid actresses in Hollywood, with an estimated net worth of $160 million thanks to her hard work and incredible success. But let's be real, if you think she lives like a queen in a castle made of diamonds, think again. After a shocking breakthrough, you'd think the next logical step would be to buy a mansion with 15 gold-plated rooms, ensuite bathrooms, and maybe adopt a pet tiger. But Jennifer didn't go that route, instead living in the same modest two-bedroom apartment she had before she hit it big, even when she upgraded to a relatively modest home in Beverly Hills. Modest by Hollywood standards, at least her home was previously owned by Jessica Simpson. But don't let that fool you, it's more charming than ostentatious. One of the most famous anecdotes about Jennifer's modesty involves a couch. After winning the Oscar, she decided to treat herself to something nice. A new couch. But instead of splurging on a designer monstrosity, she spent $25,000. Okay, that may seem like a lot, but in Hollywood, where people spend so much on a night out, it's practically a second-hand purchase. She joked about it, saying it was the most luxurious thing she's ever bought, that just looking at it makes her feel like she's living the good life. And when it comes to cars, Jennifer has kept things simple too. While her peers were into Ferraris and Lamborghinis, Jennifer was content driving a Volkswagen EOS, a convertible that's more girl next door rather than Hollywood diva, eventually upgrading to a Chevrolet Volt, a plug-in hybrid that screams, "I care about the environment, and I don't need to overcompensate for it with a fancy car in a fashion-obsessed industry." Jennifer Lawrence's approach is refreshingly unpretentious. She's known for recycling. Dress code is a cardinal sin in Hollywood, like that time she wore the same dress to different events. The horror. She has joked in interviews about not really caring about fashion, and has said that when she's not working, she's happiest in sweatpants hanging out with her dog. She's also famously clumsy on the red carpet, often joking about how uncomfortable she is in high fashion. She recalls the time she fell twice at the Oscars, once while going up to accept her award, and then again on the red carpet the following year. Instead of ignoring it, she laughed at herself, which endeared her even more to her fans. When it comes to furnishing her home, Jennifer Lawrence is not above a trip to IKEA. Yes, even with millions in the bank, she has been known to shop at everyone's favorite Swedish furniture store. She has joked about her love for IKEA. She says she likes to assemble furniture herself, although one can only imagine the Oscar winner cursing at an Allen key while trying to put together a Billy bookcase. But perhaps the most telling sign of Jennifer's steadfast nature is her commitment to charity. Lawrence is known for donating much of her wealth to causes she cares about. She founded the Jennifer Lawrence Foundation, which supports organizations such as Boys and Girls, Clubs of America, and Special Olympics. She has also been a vocal advocate for gender equality, using her platform to speak out about pay disparities. In Hollywood, in a city where celebrities are often more famous for their extravagant lifestyles than their work, Jennifer Lawrence stands out. She jokes about how terrible she is with money, but maybe that's because she's not interested in spending it on things she doesn't need. She's more interested in enjoying a simple, genuine life, whether that's eating pizza in her pajamas or spending time with her family in her hometown of Louisville, Kentucky. So while other stars are busy buying private islands or plating their iPhones in gold, Jennifer Lawrence is content to live like a normal person. She's a normal person who has an Oscar and a few million in the bank, but that's what makes her so relatable. Number 03. Leonardo DiCaprio. Picture this: a man who didn't survive a sinking ship, wrestled a bear, and even danced with wolves, but chooses to live in a refreshingly down-to-earth way. Leonardo DiCaprio is a Hollywood heavyweight with an estimated net worth of $300 million, which is quite an accomplishment for a guy who played a character who dropped a perfectly good door in Titanic. You'd think with that kind of money he'd be living in a mansion made of solid gold. But no, DiCaprio prefers to keep it low-key. He owns a stunning home in the Oriole Way complex in Los Angeles, But it's not exactly the sprawling property you might imagine. It's more of a posh, but not ostentatious vibe. After all, who needs a 20-car garage when you can just have a few eco-friendly cars and a private island? Yes, you read that right. He owns an island that is a bit more extravagant than a modest lifestyle. But hey, it's for environmental conservation. Speaking of eco-friendliness, DiCaprio is a passionate environmental law activist. He is known to use his wealth to promote sustainability, often investing in green technologies and supporting climate change initiatives. He is arguably the ultimate save the planet poster boy, proving that you can be rich and still care about Mother Earth. In a world where some celebrities are more concerned about their latest luxury handbag, DiCaprio is out there saving polar bears and planting trees. When it comes to cars, DiCaprio has a collection that includes brands like Lamborghini, Ferrari, and Audi, but he's not the type to flaunt them. You won't see him revving his engine in a flashy parade. Instead, he's probably cruising around town in something eco-friendly like a Tesla. His real estate portfolio is impressive with properties worth millions. But he's also known for flipping houses at a profit in Malibu for $1 million, making a $10 million profit. It's almost like he's playing Monopoly, but instead of buying boardwalk, he's buying eco-friendly properties. DiCaprio's philanthropic efforts are legendary with him, donating millions to various causes, including wildlife conservation and climate change. In fact, he's raised over $80 million for charity. You could say he's the Robin Hood of Hollywood, always concerned about the poor. So while he may not be living in a gold-plated mansion or cruising around in the latest sports car, Leonardo DiCaprio is living a life richer in purpose, impact, and authenticity. In Hollywood, that's worth more than all the Oscars in the world. Number 02. Robert Pattinson. Talk about the brooding heartthrob who rose to fame as the brilliant vampire Edward Cullen in Twilight, who could have easily gone down the path of living in a gold-plated mansion with rooms dedicated to his hair. Instead, he has chosen a path that is far more relatable and at times downright quirky. When Twilight hit theaters, Robert Pattinson became an overnight sensation, sending legions of fans, mostly teenagers and their bewildered parents, into a frenzy with all that fame and fortune he can get his hands on. Pattinson was expected to live like a vampire king with a castle and a fleet of black sports cars. But Pattinson, ever the contrarian, opted for a different route. Instead of embracing the Hollywood lifestyle, he has become known for his charming oddball choices in both his career and personal life. Pattinson's net worth is estimated to be a cool $100 million as of 2024, the bulk of his fortune coming from the successful Twilight franchise, where his base salary for the subsequent films was $25 million, plus a generous share of back-end revenue, bringing his total to $40 million per film. In 2011, Pattinson was ranked 15th on Vanity Fair's Hollywood Top 40 with earnings of $27.5 million. In 2010, it was also reported that Pattinson earned $3 million for his role as the title character in Batman. As if that wasn't enough, he owns the largest mansion on Earth. In 2013, Pattinson was ranked second in glamour with the UK's richest people under 30. The London Evening Standard named him one of London's most influential people in 2013. But Pattinson didn't let the money go to his head. He still drives a 2001 Chevy Silverado. He bought it for $2,100. Another very endearing thing about Robert Pattinson is that he never took himself too seriously after Twilight. Instead of jumping into a string of blockbuster movies, he opted for smaller independent films that were as far away from the mainstream as possible and his living situation. Well, it's a far cry from Beverly Hills mansions. For a while, Pattinson lived in a small rented house in Hollywood that was more of a converted junkyard than a luxurious abode. The house was described as almost like a dump with a hot tub. That didn't work. A pool that looked more like a pond and an overall vibe that screamed, "I'm rich, but who cares?" Pattinson has spoken of how he loved the place because it was tucked away and allowed him to escape the spotlight, a theme that has been consistent throughout his life. And when he purchased a Spanish-style mini-mansion in Hollywood, it was for a relatively modest $6.3 million for a guy who has graced the covers of countless fashion magazines. Pattinson's personal style is striking. He is often seen in mismatched suits that look like he's dressed in dark beanies. Old t-shirts and unbuttoned plaid shirts are his go-to look, and he has been known to wear the same outfit repeatedly, sometimes for days on end, while other celebrities have stylists on speed dial. Pattinson seems content to roll out of bed and throw on whatever is nearest and somehow still look effortlessly cool. Number 01. Ryan Reynolds. If you think about Hollywood stars who choose between fame and humility, Ryan Reynolds is here to prove you wrong, because this standout actor somehow balances a successful career with a lifestyle so modest you could see him driving the kids to school in a minivan instead of a Maserati. But let's talk numbers first. Ryan Reynolds is worth a cool $350 million wrist thanks to blockbusters like Deadpool and Free Guy, along with some pretty savvy investments. For example, he co-owned Aviation Gin, which he sold for a staggering $610 million in 2020. You'd think that kind of money would allow him to live like Bruce Wayne. But Reynolds is more like the boy next door, if the boy next door was actually funny and incredibly handsome. Despite his sizable bank account, Reynolds has a surprisingly modest approach to life. He's not the type of guy to spend money on flashy cars or private islands. In fact, he's been seen driving around in a family SUV, which is about as un-Hollywood as it gets. He jokes in interviews about how he doesn't really know how to spend his money, and honestly, we believe him. While other celebrities are busy buying $100,000 watches, Reynolds seems content with making sure his 3 daughters have a lifetime supply of dad jokes. Ryan and his wife Blake Lively could easily live in a mansion so big it would require its own zip code. They opted for a cozy and charming 3-bedroom home in a small town of Bedford, New York, which they bought for $2.3 million. It's a nice place for sure, but it's more of a family farm than a celebrity compound. They eventually moved into a more spacious $5.7 million home still in Edford, where they've created a life that's all about family privacy and avoiding the Hollywood hype. In fact, Reynolds has said that he is happiest when he is at home with his family, away from the spotlight. Reynolds' modesty isn't just about his lifestyle, it's a reflection of his personality. He's the kind of person who enjoys the simple pleasures in life, like trolling his wife on Instagram with funny birthday posts or sharing awkward throwback photos. When he's not busy being a movie star, he's making deadpan commercials for his company Mint Mobile, where he often pokes fun at his own fame and wealth in one ad. He even joked about how they were able to keep costs down by spending only $35 on this commercial. While Reynolds is careful to keep it low-key, he's also incredibly generous. He and Lively have donated millions of dollars to various causes, including COVID-19 relief efforts and supporting Indigenous communities in Canada. He's not interested in making a big spectacle of his philanthropy. He just wants to help however he can, and of course he manages to do it all with his signature wit and charm. So while Ryan Reynolds may play superheroes and charming rogues on screen, in real life he's just a down-to-earth guy who'd rather crack a joke than open his wallet. We've reached the end of this video. Tell us what you think in the comments box. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss future videos like this one. See you next time.